I'm sorry, I don't know if I can say ass on the show.
You can.
They are going to beat the hell out of each other, and I can't wait to see it. You'll be seeing me peeking my head around the corner during that match. You got Coconut Jones and Brandon Thurston.
Oh,
that match is going to be a nice high flyer. And both those guys can go. I know you've seen them both in you saw Thurston in Pier 6 a lot.
I'm a big fan of Thurston.
Oh, absolutely. I love the Carney gimmick he's got going. I love it, absolutely. One guy I'm really excited to see go that I've never seen in person is Kevin Bennett out of Buffalo. I know he wrestles at ESW mainstay. I hear a lot of good things about him. Sean Carr, huge fan of his.
Sean Carr is listen. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
I put Sean Carr on the same wavelength that I put Mark House on. Both of those two are guys that get it, and I think that sky's the limit for both of them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Sean Carr, even though he hangs out with that loser Ivy Green, whatever he wants to call him. So,
indeed.
I'll be taking on Ivy Green this weekend, so that'll be interesting.
Oh, that would explain why he made that comment on the photo.
Yeah, he's got nothing better to do, that guy.
That's all right.
We'll be seeing each other this weekend. I heard there's a Ron Falco sighting coming this weekend.
Oh, Lord. Good old Falco sighting.
Oh, yeah, the big ape. And then Hellcat's going to be in the building. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, there's so many guys that I'm super stoked to see.
Well, it looks like it's going to be...
Feathers going to be on the show.
I love Frankie Feathers.
You know what? I've never seen him in person. He's another guy I've heard a lot of good things about. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
I seen him in person at Pier 6 when I was commentating, and really the commentating, my commentating style is not necessarily the most... I don't know. It's not like, Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura would have nothing to worry about as far as my commentary style is concerned. But when he came out and he started dancing the Carlton, I went nuts. Almost like in that Elmo match when I yelled, "Do rags off, do rags off." That was.
Don't get me started on that guy.
Listen. That match was. I still watch that match because I laugh because Bender and I just. You can just tell we just couldn't contain ourselves. But in any event, I did the same thing with Frankie Feathers when he walked out there. But Feathers can work. He can work.
That's good. And I've heard nothing but good things about him. I'm very excited to see what he has in store. And I know we got a Facebook page for the show. I'm taking the show very, very seriously, man. And like I said, this is my second home, only in New York. I went to Bonaventure. My family's going to be there that have never seen me wrestle before. Wouldn't be surprised if Mama Cat's there. So I know my Mama Cat's got a lot of fans of her own, which is ridiculous. But I was at the Amherst game Friday night, and one of our diehard fans that used to be at every show, first thing he said to me, "Big Cat's awesome. How's your mom doing?" Are you serious? Are you serious right now?
She's the Judy Bagwell of this area.
I know. Tell me about it. Leave it to me. Leave it to me to have the mother that gets more of a pop than for himself. So that's great.
Listen, she gets more of a pop than most of the people here.
Tell me about it. I'm waiting for her to get inducted in the Hall of Fame around here. She's gonna be in there before I am any day. So.
Well, yeah, indeed. You know what? It'd be great. But all right, Big Cat. Well, good talk, man. I appreciate the time, and best of luck on Saturday. Let me know how it goes, man. Maybe we'll get you back on here.
Hey, bro, I really appreciate it. I'd love to come on anytime. Like I said, I'm a fan, so we can talk sports, we don't have to talk wrestling. But it's a real pleasure talking to you again, and keep up the great work.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you.
Bye, buddy. Yep, bye-bye.
Big Cat Lemmer, everybody. I wouldn't want to call him, obviously he's Big Cat Lemmer, and I've known him for several years, and we've all known him for several years in the Western New York wrestling area, but, man, Mama Cat, I forgot about Mama Cat Lemmer. We should get Mama Cat on here, too. This is funny. Awesome. Big Cat Lemmer. Saturday. Go see him. ESW. Not ECW. ESW. Go see him. Go Royals. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Get Radio America on the Get Radio Network. Hurrah!
Hey, podcast listeners. This month's Song of the Month through the Gear Network iTunes connection is from The Crew. It's Dr. Feelgood. They are on their final tour, and I picked this up on my iPhone using the Gear Network's iTunes connection for only $1.29. That's right, you can not only get our podcast there, but you can go to iTunes via the Gear Radio Network and get all of your app, music, podcast, and video needs. Anything you want, you can get via the connection. Go to gearnetwork.com, click on support the shows, click on the iTunes link. It will take you to our page, and you can purchase away, baby. Apple will help with our production costs with your referral and your purchase by kicking us a little something. It's going to keep our podcast, all our programming free, clear, and independent. Get ready, America. iTunes, Gear Network, do it.
From the Gear Network studios, once again, here's John and Dawn.
Welcome back to Get Ready America here on the Gear Radio Network, everybody. That song you are hearing playing us in, yes, Salma Cosa. It's a song that I used to use for Mark's Minute, which, by the way, will be returning next week on Get Ready America. We're going to reinstate Mark's Minute, his little segments in there to help you become a better professional wrestler for all my wrestling peeps out there that listen and want to become better professional wrestlers or whatever. Anyways, I had something before I get to what you wanted to close on. I had something that I wrote down that I wanted to touch up on when I started rambling about the New York Jets, and then I got so mad that I forgot about it. But the Jets signed Michael Vick, right? They signed Michael Vick because they wanted him to mentor Geno Smith, right? Right? Okay. Since Michael Vick's signing, Geno has regressed in Martin Morningweg's system. The same system that Geno played in last year. He has regressed. He's done worse. Since Michael Vick's signing, Geno Smith has told the home crowd, a couple of home crowd fans, to F off. Since Michael Vick's signing, Geno Smith has missed meetings. And since Michael Vick's signing, Geno Smith has blamed the media for his mistakes. Wonderful job as a mentor, Mike Vick. Wonder what would have happened if he didn't sign him.
You pick Mike Vick as somebody's mentor. Seriously?
I don't know. I bet you they're kind of kicking themselves not going after Kyle Orton. But not that Kyle Orton's tearing it up, but he's a winner. You know, he's doing good, and he's doing good things in Buffalo, and his mustache is absolutely epic. But in any event, Dawn.
So I think, why don't we switch over to a little bit of news to close out this segment, because there's just one article that I've been reading about for a few days now. You know, I've been trying to keep up with it, and I just cannot understand it. I can't wrap my head around it. So, anybody who lives local knows Empire Boulevard. Really busy street. 30-year-old woman, argument with some family member. I don't know if that's been disclosed as to what family member, but regardless, arguing with a family member, leaves her house, says that she's standing on Empire Boulevard waiting for cars to pass. And apparently, I guess she got tired of waiting. So she just stepped out into the road and got hit by not one, not two, but 3 cars.
Jesus Christ.
All 3 of these cars pulled over momentarily after they hit her to the shoulder and then drove away. Not one, not two, but all 3 cars. So I can't seem to understand this. How does this happen? Was it 3 cars in a row? Was it seconds apart? The article really, and nothing that I've read really goes into a lot of detail about that. But I just can't comprehend how 3 people could hit a woman and not one of them stops and waits. They all take off.
You know, I heard a little bit about this and read a little bit about this, and I'm judging by what was stated, you know, and there's speculation. Everybody speculates, you know, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. The only person that knows at this point, unfortunately, is no longer with us. It's that woman. My speculation being, considering what time of day it was the nighttime. Considering that it was Empire Boulevard, and in that particular stretch of Empire Boulevard, where the accident took place, there's you know, that stretch around the Irondequoit Bay that it comes up there, and a lot of people like to speed through there. Not to mention there's a few bars over there, stuff like that. People, you know, having a good time, whatever. The boulevard is on the other side of that as well, so it's an area where you can get a lot of controversial drivers and stuff like that. But for 3 people to hit somebody and then drive off, to me, I almost wonder if it were, and I said this to you off the air, but it sounded to me like it was like one of those street racers, like the drag racers that, you know, get in there souped up Hondas and Toyotas and whatever and drive and race on the streets, you know? I mean, we've all seen situations like that. We've all seen those particular types of things. I'll share with you a story. Back in 2001, it was during the nighttime. Myself and Gabriel Saint were in my old car. We were leaving somewhere. I mean, it was probably like about 11 o'clock at night. And as we were turning onto the street, this drag racer comes over this hill. Clearly ran a stop sign. I didn't see him at first because he was past the stop sign. Next thing I know, he's tires squealing, whatever. He was coming, you know, he was literally this close to hitting me. And so I ended up going off the road, running over some sign, and then I got mad, but he didn't stop or anything. He just kept going. So I got it, so I realized we were okay. I kept going, and we were driving down Dewey Avenue. He was at 100 miles an hour, and I was probably like about 80, 85 going after this guy before Gabe Saint was like, look, we don't know what we hit, you know, we don't know what we hit. Let's just pull over. Let's just, whatever we, you know, whatever. He was the cooler head. Those that know Gabe Saint, he was the cooler head out of the two of us that day. So, but I mean, I think it's something like that because people like that, they don't stop. They don't care. Their cars are fast. Who's going to catch them, you know, unless it's a cop or whatever. But, you know, for personal experience, it wouldn't surprise me if those three cars were street racers. What do you think?
I mean, it's a possibility. I don't want to speculate because I don't know. The police department obviously knows more than what they're saying, right? Because they know that the woman stood there and waited before she stepped out into the road. They know that three cars hit her. So there's obviously some kind of a witness, right? Because otherwise, how do they know that? So they must know more. They know if it was one right after another. They know if there was time in between. They have to know something more. I don't want to speculate. Something's definitely weird there. I'm sure we'll find out more at some point. I did come across kind of, it's probably one of those like, is it too soon? But it made me chuckle. My horrible sense of humor.
We all have it.
That and anybody who's ever gone on this Topics website.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, if you haven't, you should check it out because it's pretty funny. And you can go on there and comment and get people all riled up, which I always enjoy doing. Everybody knows I like to rile people up. But I would never do anything like that at all. So somebody goes on here and writes regarding this situation. Does anybody know if Meghan Markle and her boyfriend Mark Skirbo have an alibi? And this makes me laugh because most of you probably know, but for anybody who's not familiar with that, that's a situation of a woman and her boyfriend who were riding in two separate cars, you know, one right behind the other, and they hit a school teacher who was biking, one right after another, and took off. So, kind of a, you know, it's not very funny.
I got it. I got it.
Got a little giggle. Sorry. I know it's horrible, but nevertheless, if anybody knows their whereabouts that night, you know, either clear them, turn them in, I don't know, but that's certainly a question out there.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate thing, and before everybody goes ahead and says, well, why did she step into the street anyways? Stop.
I mean, yeah,
Just
it was
really
dumb, but, you know, I'm sure heat of the moment, she's arguing, fighting, and I don't think it was the driver's fault necessarily. Yes, maybe speed was a factor. Yes, maybe they were drinking, but it could be that none of those things were the case, you know? How many times have we heard reports of somebody being run over, and it's not always the driver's fault. So it's just a sad situation, but either way, these cars needed to stop, and that's the problem.
Right, absolutely. So, I mean, it's a sad story, and unfortunately, the person in question lost their life. And bottom line is some kid is going to be without their mother. Mm-hmm. And that is, you know, that's a tough one. That is a tough one to swallow, especially if you have kids, knowing that. So, it's a tough situation. Hopefully it gets solved and the family, specifically the kid, ends up having at least some sort of closure and comfort with this. So,
you know, and then in more serious news, this whole Ebola outbreak that's going on, right? Because